Coming up on Look Today, well, the annual VFW's car show took place to spread awareness and raise money for disabled veterans. I've got details. And the Rogers Island reenactment featured a record number of participants. More on that coming up. And the Peace Fair in Saratoga came to a close with a concert to end gun violence. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm J. Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Saddam Abbas. He's a medical doctor at Ellis Medicine and he's here for a look at health. I also sit down with Eva Marie Laux. Now she's an artist and illustrator from Ballston Spa and she's here to talk about her Journeys art exhibit that's currently on display at the Brookside Museum in Ballston Spa. Plus we've got your fall weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the annual Veterans Car Show took place in Granville over the weekend. And the event was hosted by the Veterans of Foreign Wars Club. The show featured old military trucks, as well as many antique cars. And the event raises awareness and donations to help disabled veterans. Well, we spoke to Steve Leach. He's a commander of the VFW in Vermont.
Spend all my time helping out veterans and raising money to help them and remembering them.
It was an amazing event and the cars were outrageous. In other news, a French and Indian War reenactment saw a record number of participants on Rogers Island in Fort Edward. The event had over 150 reenactors with around 200 people in attendance. Now, in the 1750s, Fort Edward was the third largest settlement in North America. Now, the French-Indian War was the battle between the French and English, with indigenous native tribes fighting on both sides. Now, most of the war took place near the border of Canada, or what was known as New France at the time. Well, we spoke to Chris Stringham. He's a reenactor about the historical importance of Rogers Island.
Rogers Island was an encampment. It's famous for Robert Rogers, who was one of the Ranger Company commanders.
I don't know about you, but I want that hat. Switching from news to weather. This morning, more temperatures. They were cold in the 30 degrees, though they increased into the low 60s. Heat wave. Tonight, there's an 80% chance of rain. So let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, Peace Week in Saratoga Springs came to a close on Sunday with a concert to end gun violence. Now, the event is a nationwide effort. The show took place at the Presbyterian New England Congregational Church, featured musicians from all over the world. A memorial was on display with black ribbons to honor and remember the victims of all the shootings in 2015. Up next, I sit down with Saddam Abbas. He's a medical doctor at Ellis Medicine. He's here for a look at health. Plus, I also sit down with Eva Marie Laux. She's an artist and illustrator from Ballston Spa. She's here to talk about Journeys. That's an art exhibit currently on display at the Brookside Museum. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts tonight. First, to everyone that was involved in Peace Week in Saratoga. The culmination yesterday at the Peace Fair was really something. I mean, it was nonstop from noon to probably 4 or 5 o'clock. And music, constantly, folk music, world music, music representing all kinds of different genres, all kinds of people around, booths and food. And I think overriding, the main thing is the sense of peace. Isn't that something? The sense of peace. And also I want to mention everybody who worked on that car show out in Granville. It's one thing to do a car show. They're always great and all the hot rods and it's a brotherhood. But the real brotherhood is the veterans. And it's really on display when you see something like that, where the money is being raised to help our less fortunate veterans. That's a brotherhood, okay? One last thing, in case you want to know, you can still go swimming in Lake George, as my wife and I did yesterday. It's cool, but we did go in. Maybe to Halloween. What do you think? All right, tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines and Tracks, our music show. Don't forget, you can tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.